As the majority of you probably see me for the first time, I think it's only fitting to start with an introduction of what I do, what agency I represent. In my experience, when I tell people that I work for Invest Lithuania, they tend to hear only the first word, invest, and think that we are some government VC that will fund them, that will give them millions. And I will be very brave and say from the start that we don't really do that. And I do understand that I'm risking losing your interest after that, but my goal today is to try to shift the focus from the invest to also Lithuania, the second word in the name of our agency, and the country that is hosting all of us here today. I will try to do so by presenting our business opportunities here in Lithuania for game industry companies. So I was looking at the screen and waiting for the slide to change, but I have to do it myself. Okay. We already established that we don't really give anyone money. So what is it that we actually do? We are our country's official investment promotion agency, and we also help with business development. And we help international foreign companies that are at the stage of expansion and are looking for their next business location to find Lithuania, to help them with decision making by providing tailored market information, talent pool analysis. We also help companies with business establishment and provide them continuous support. So after you come here to Lithuania and establish here, we don't leave you on your own. We're here to help. And our agency works with companies from multiple economical sectors, including manufacturing, life sciences, global business services. But me, myself, I am part of technology team. You can guess by the name, we work with technology sector. And you can see our young, fun, colorful team here on the photo. This is a recent photo from our summer event. But to be fair, usually we look something like that, all suited up, serious people, trusted advisors. The people you see here on the screen, our technology team and also previous editions of our technology team, have been working with game industry companies specifically for quite a few years. For me, it's my first DevGAMM event, which you probably can tell by the way my hand is shaking. But my colleagues have been participating in DevGAMM in 2015, 2016. And over the past few years, we have helped over 15 companies, game industry companies, to establish and grow their presence here in Lithuania. I will not cover too much about game industry here in Lithuania because after me, Richard does from Lithuanian Games Developer Association will do that. But just a few main things. Game industry in Lithuania is present but not overly saturated. So I think we have a nice mix of both international and local companies, bigger names, smaller maybe indie companies, also both product and outsourcing companies. Game industry companies that are not yet here and are looking to maybe establish their, they will find their people here, they will find hopefully friends, but also will have the room to grow. And of course, to grow, you have to have the conditions that will help you do so. And for the purposes of this presentation, I will not go too deep into macroeconomical overview. We'll try not to overwhelm you with too much business stuff, but I think we do have to talk taxes. And you can see the tax rates of the main taxes here on the screen on the left side. Addressing the elephant in the room, we don't currently have any game industry specific tax incentives. We don't have any special tax regime. We do have high technology here in Lithuania, but not the park for it. This is a little reference to Belarusian regime. And you can argue with that. Our government believes that this helps leverage the playing field for all industries, and you can get philosophical about taxes and maybe prove the point that the specific tax regimes are needed. But what you can't argue with is that we are 6th globally in the OECD Tax Competitiveness Index, and I think it's a pretty decent place to rank globally. And again, I used to work in taxation, so I actually, despite taxes being pretty boring, I sort of enjoy talking taxes, but I will try not to go too deep. But let's just focus for a bit on the taxation of salary in Lithuania. In my experience, this is of interest to the companies. So the main peculiarity, if you will, of salary taxation in Lithuania is that the majority of tax burden lays on the employee side. Employer pays less than 2% of the social insurance tax, and the rest is on the employee side. And speaking about salary taxation, as I mentioned, yeah, we don't have any special tax regimes, but we have things that can help your company lessen your financial burden of running operations in Lithuania. One of those things is a financial incentive called Invest Lithuania. So it's basically a cashback on your total cost of employment. It offers from 10 to 15%. Why is it a range and not the exact number? Is because each valuation of the company is evaluated on the case-by-case basis. And basically, if the company is willing to create at least 20 job places in Lithuania in 3 years' time, it can apply for this program, and it helps company lessen their financial burden of paying salaries to employees. As you can see, this is total cost of employment focused incentive. And employment, of course, is the hot topic globally, and Lithuania is not immune to the talent situation in both game industry and just generally IT and even beyond that. Of course, we are a 3 million people country. Naturally, we have limitation of talent pool despite there being university programs and reskill, upskill programs. But even beyond the point that we are on a smaller side of countries, the trend is that companies hire not only locally but globally and try to find the best addition to their team wherever they can get it. So to help companies with attracting foreign talent, this is what Jovita already mentioned, is this new incentive, which offers you a lump sum payment for both relocated employee and the company. And we hope that it will foster the international hiring of the companies, and Vilnius will become, and Lithuania will become more international. And speaking about people coming from different countries to Lithuania, however great we believe our country is, however amazing the job offers that you're getting with a local company may be, we do understand that it is sometimes challenging and hard to leave your home country. Of course, we cannot compensate for the fact of leaving your family, of leaving your friends behind, but we do want to do our part to ensure that people who come to Lithuania have the best experience possible here. And one of initiatives that we have is International House Vilnius, which is basically a one-stop shop for international people coming to Lithuania. They can go there and not travel across the city to multiple institutions to get their documents in place. Here in the photo you can see our Minister of Economy and Innovation and the mayor of our city. They don't really work for International House Vilnius, but they were here for the opening. But daily you can find a lot of qualified employees in International House Vilnius who are there to help you. And they do so by providing consultation on tax questions. They help with visas and work permits, both issuance of the documents and getting all the information you might need. And they also hold regularly workshops and seminars for people who are new to the country to help them with any questions they might have and have the smooth landing here in Lithuania. And continuing on a topic of hiring and employment, we, as Invest Lithuania, we have this program called Work in Lithuania. I'm not sure if my colleagues working directly with this platform will appreciate how I present it, but I like to say that it is a Tinder for employer and employee, or Hinge or Bumble, I know a few. So basically it is a matchmaking site for company and talent. A company can list their open vacancies on the platform. This will probably be in addition to what your company already is doing on presenting open vacancies on LinkedIn, working with HR partners, working with your in-house talent acquisition team. But Work in Lithuania will help you increase your visibility on the talent market. And from the employee side, first of all, they can scroll through and look for the open positions, but if they at the time do not find something that attracts them, a person can leave their CV and it will basically be in the database, and when the respective offer comes in, they will be matched, and if stars align, work and live happily ever after. Also continuing on what Jovita has already mentioned, Lithuania is not only Vilnius. Me personally, I grew up in Vilnius, so I am biased. I do think it's the best city in the world. I was recently in the US. I fell in love with San Francisco, but still, it's the second one. Vilnius is the best. But in terms of other Lithuanian cities, we highlighted here Kaunas and Klaipėda. Kaunas has some game industry presence. It is the second largest city in Lithuania, fourth in the Baltics. Unity is already in Kaunas, Sneaky Box, some other companies, and there are industry events happening, so it's a place to be. Klaipėda is probably less obvious choice for game industry companies, being port city. It hosts more of manufacturing, logistics companies, but it is a seaside city, so I think that's on its own is a value proposition. And moving on, this is almost last slide. The background for my the little pieces of information I'm gonna give you is the illustrations that was used a few years back on our Go Vilnius campaign. The tagline was "Vilnius, amazing wherever you think it is." I used to, again, when I was in the US, sometimes I don't want to offend anyone, but in my experience, this stereotype of Americans being not so great with geography has proven to be right. So when I used to say that I'm from Vilnius, Lithuania, and people would be like, oh, where is it? I used to have this photo as my wallpaper on computer and say that this is exactly how it looks. I don't think anyone really believed this, but I had a lot of fun with this little thing. Yeah, a few little facts that I thought are nice to know about Lithuania. So we are first globally for the public Wi-Fi speed, and it is known that Lithuania has generally great internet connectivity. The internet is fast and reliable. In the especially in the view of the current geopolitical situation, it's nice to know that we are forced globally in the International Cybersecurity Index. And the last little rating I'm gonna imply on you is that we are second in CEE for ICT infrastructure. And to dilute all those ratings, a little fun fact that Lithuania has more hot air balloons than any other country. Per capita should be added, because maybe Cappadocia, Turkey, maybe they have more, but per capita we still win. And you can witness that, especially in the summer in Vilnius, you can see hot air balloons flying almost every day. It is peculiar because in the majority of cities, the hot air balloons cannot fly over the city for, I guess, safety reasons. But on Monday, I saw two of them collide, and they just bumped into each other and continued on the way. So it's safe. I think it's okay that they're flying over us. And to end my presentation, I would love to circle back to the logos that you saw in the beginning. Maybe you didn't notice it, but as you can see here, it says Lithuania Co-Create. And it is basically a tagline for our marketing campaign for the upcoming few years, I guess. And of course, you can take it with a grain of salt, it being the part of our marketing. But we at Invest Lithuania, we genuinely want to co-create and not only coexist with the games industry. We can't do it on our own. We are not probably the main stakeholders. We are not really the decision makers. But I believe that with Game Developers Association, with other government institutions, and also with all of you there, with companies that are already present in Lithuania and companies that potentially are looking to Lithuania as their next business location. We want to talk to you. We want to have your feedback. Maybe you have some comments on where we need to move, in which direction. By us having this talk, we believe that we can co-create the great games industry future here in Lithuania. And the technology team of Invest Lithuania will be here to help you. Today you can find us at booth S5. We will be happy to have a chat with you, so be sure to come by. I will be less awkward when I'm off the stage. And even if your company is not currently looking for expansion, like I said, let's just talk about the games industry. We are interested in your feedback and what you have to say. I didn't die, although I'm very afraid of public speaking, so that was my main goal for today. Thank you for being such a great audience, and bye for now. Thank you.